Hey guys, I'm Eric with Extreme Terrain. In this video I'm going to give you my review and install of these Rocker Armor side step bars in matte black finish for all 2020 and later Jeep Gladiators. You should really be checking these out if you're looking for a more affordable solution to make it easier to get in and out of your Gladiator. Getting in and out of our Jeeps is a tall enough task even when they're in their stock configuration, but if you're like most Jeep owners out there, one of the first things you're going to do is throw on larger tires or a lift or both. In both cases, that's going to add extra height to your vehicle and make it a little bit more challenging to get in and out. These side steps from Rocker Armor are a nice solution to that issue. Now, the styling and matte black finish of these side steps is really going to give you an upgrade in appearance to your Jeep, especially if you don't have anything currently mounted on your Gladiator like the one we're working on today. And I think that matte black finish really pairs up well with the black fenders that this trim level has, and it gives the truck overall a more finished appearance. Now, made from lightweight aircraft grade aluminum, these steps provide a nice wide stepping surface that also has designed slots in them that will add traction as you're getting in and out. Now, that width on these side steps is also beneficial because it's going to help add protection to that exposed rocker panel area. Now, if your Jeep, like this one, came from the factory without anything mounted down there, not only does that kind of look bare from a style point of view, but it also leaves that area exposed to any flying rocks and debris that get kicked up by your tires as you're traveling down the road. Now, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, these are a little bit more affordable than most side steps that you'll find out there. They're currently priced right around $400. That kind of puts it towards the bottom end of the spectrum in terms of price compared to a lot of other side steps. Now, in terms of the installation, guys, I'm giving it a 1 out of 3 wrenches on our difficulty meter. Budget about 2 hours of your time to get this job done from start to finish. Nothing overly exotic here in terms of assembly. Some basic hand tools are all you're going to need to get the job done. Now, I got to say the bracketry and the setup as far as the install and assembly goes is a little bit different from a lot of other side steps I've seen out there. And if these side steps were heavier grade steel construction, making them a lot heavier, would be a little bit more challenging. But these are lightweight aircraft aluminum side steps, so maneuvering them around just by yourself, if you're doing this installation alone, is not all that difficult. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at the tools we're going to need and move ahead with our installation. All right, guys, tools we're going to use for this install include an electric impact wrench, an extension, 10 and 13 millimeter sockets, a socket wrench, 10 and 13 millimeter crescent wrenches, and 10 and 13 millimeter ratcheting wrenches. All right, guys, before we get started actually doing the install and some of the assembly work we're going to do, I just want to explain a little bit about the brackets we're going to be using and how we're going to mount them on the Gladiator. Now, your Jeep comes with 4 factory mounting points already designed on the Jeep. We're going to be using 3 out of those 4. Now, if you think of the 4 on the driver's side going from front to back, positions 1, 2, 3, and 4, we're going to be using positions 1, 2, and 4. We're not going to mount anything in the 3rd slot. So we're going to be taking advantage of, there is a threaded hole on the underside at each one of those positions. We're going to be mounting a bolt up in there, and that's going to be this part of the bracket here, and the bracket's going to be going up like that, and then we're going to be putting 2 more bolts through the pinch weld and through these holes on the brackets. Now, in order to know which bracket goes where, these thankfully are labeled DFM for driver front main, and then DCM for driver center main. And then it's just a little bit different at the back. You have driver rear main and driver rear support. These 2 brackets together are going to do what each one of these brackets did at each one of those other stations. So let's go ahead and get our hardware together and get started. All right, guys, now have your bracket up here like this. These parts are going to go to the inside of the pinch weld and start one of these bolts here with a flat washer and a lock washer. We're just going to start at finger tight for right now so we can get everything else mounted up, and if we need a little bit of extra play in there, we have that. So let's go ahead and mount up the other ones. All right guys, now I have our driver support bracket. It's kind of an odd orientation here to look at it, but you're gonna wanna slide this in and we're gonna mate it up here in this hole and to the back. So right now, grab one of these bolts and a couple of flat washers, a lock washer, and a nut. And we're gonna connect the two brackets together first. And as you can see, these holes are all larger than the bolts themselves, so you have a little bit of adjustment you can do here. So the next bolt we're going to do is we're going to bolt here through the pinch weld into our support bracket. For this, you're going to grab these smaller M6 bolts, a couple of flat washers, and we have small nylon locking nuts for these. All right, now we're gonna do the pinch welds for the other two brackets. All right guys, we're using more of these M6 bolts with a couple of flat washers and a lock nut. Okay guys, now I have our driver's side step here. As you can see, it's very light. I'm only holding it with a couple of fingers. It's very lightweight construction. So if you're doing this as a one-person job, it's not that hard to do. Although what we're gonna do right now takes a little bit of coordination. I'm gonna set it down, and I have a box set up on one end that's gonna kind of just give it some height. And then I'm gonna get under it at the front end here, lift it up into place, and then we'll start inserting our hardware that we're gonna need to bolt the step up to the brackets. All right guys, now I'm kind of sitting underneath this. I have the front end of the side step resting on me here. Go ahead and grab one of these brackets and a black carriage bolt. Carriage bolt will just slide into place like that. Now this bracket is going to basically go on the outside here and kind of fit in between the two rails of the side step. You're also going to want to grab one of these spacers, slide that on. Now this might look a little strange, but thankfully this is lightweight construction side step, so it is pretty easy to do what I'm doing right now. And we're basically gonna mate this up with the bolt, grab another spacer, put it on. And then have a flat washer, a lock washer, and a nut handy for the backside here. I'm going to leave that loose so we can adjust this. As you can see, you can slide it backwards and forwards, and that's so you can line it up for the appearance that you're looking for. So we're going to go ahead and start these brackets further on down. All right guys, now I've jumped to the back or rearmost bracket. I'm going to do this one here so that it hangs a little bit, and then we'll go to the middle one. So again, grab a carriage bolt, one of these brackets, and a spacer. Slide it in. Grab another spacer, put it on your bolt, and then connect it to your main bracket there. Again, a flat washer, lock washer, and a nut for the backside. Just finger tight for now. Once we get all 3 of these brackets installed, we're going to go around and start tightening everything up. All right guys, again, grab the same hardware. Now this time, because we're a little snug up against this bracket, you want to grab your spacer and slide it up in so we can get it on our bolt. And again, flat washer, lock washer, and nut on the inside here. All right guys, to start tightening up, most of this hardware is going to be 13 millimeter except for the smaller bolts that we put on the pinch welds. Those are 10 millimeter. So pretty much, like I said, everything is going to be 13 millimeter that we're tightening down. All right guys, now we're going to tighten up these. These are also 13 millimeter. Now for the middle one. All right guys, now to tighten up the bolts along our pinch weld, go ahead and grab a 10 millimeter crescent and a 10 millimeter socket. And then go ahead and repeat that on up the line. All right guys, that wraps up this review and install of these Rocker Armor side step bars in matte black finish for all 2020 and later Jeep Gladiators. And of course, for all things Gladiator, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.